In this Circuits of the Past video, we'll show you the top 10 racing circuits with a short life. Motodrome Gelsenkirchen. Our first racing circuit with a short life is the unknown Motodrome Gelsenkirchen, which was a 0.466 mile short club circuit in the west of Germany. It opened in 1969 as a gravel track and became laid with an asphalt layer in 1977. The track was used for amateur stock car racing. It was a road circuit, but in a way it had some characteristics of a quarter-mile oval. The official name of the racetrack was Motodrome Gelsenkirchen, but the locals called it mostly the Alma Ring, after the Alma cooking plant which was on site before it became a racetrack. Sadly, in the early 1980s, the Alma Ring became opposed by environmentalists and local residents who complained about the noise. That led to the closure of the track after the 1984 season, and since then it's been left abandoned. So that makes the Alma Ring number 10 in our list of racing circuits with a short life. Sitges Terramar. Our next short-lived track is the Sitges Terramar in Spain. Sitges Terramar was the first permanent racetrack in Spain, and it opened in 1922 in the seaside resort of Sitges Terramar. Located about 40 kilometres south of Barcelona, it was a private initiative from millionaire and local race hero Frick Armanger. Sitges Terramar was an oval racetrack which contained two high-speed corners at a very steep progressive banking of more than 60 degrees. A strange detail was that the back straight had a right kink in it too, which gave the track a typical bean shape. In 1923, the Autodrome was seen for its first Grand Prix of Spain. The race was won by Albert Devo in his Sunbeam after a stunning wheel-to-wheel fight with Louis Zaborowski in his Miller. His average speed was 156 km per hour, or 97.5 miles per hour in whichever money you speak of. But since the beginning of the opening of the circuit, there was financial troubles, and soon bills were being left unpaid. As a result of that, international races were banned from the circuit. In 1925, the site was bought up by racing driver Edgar Morawitz, and in 1932, the National Spanish Championship for motorcycles were held at Sitges. Unfortunately, this was only a short-term recovery, because in 1936, when a Spanish Civil War broke out, the circuit closed and it never reopened again for racing. And that puts Sitges Terramar at number 9 of our list of racing circuits with a short life. The Monza Oval. Our next short-lived racetrack is an oval too, but way more famous than the previous one. We're talking about the Monza Oval. Actually, there's been two Monza Ovals. The original Monza Oval opened in 1922 and was part of the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza complex, which contained also the road circuit. The oval could be used in combination with the road circuit or separated onto its own. The original oval was demolished in 1938 during a huge reconstruction that should make Monza a pure road circuit. However, in the 1950s they regretted that decision and wanted to return it back to its original concept, so by 1955 they'd opened a new high-banked oval, almost in the exact same place as the original one. In contrast to the original banking, which was built on the earth embankment, the new high-speed corners had concrete structure to them. They also had progressive banking, with an angle of 38.69 degrees at the very top. Just like the old banking, it could be used in combination with the road circuit or separated out on its own. The new Monza Oval was also used for several classes, like the 100 kilometres of Monza, for example. But one of the most prestigious events was a race between Formula One and IndyCar. Under the slogan, "The Race of Two Worlds," the first edition took place in 1957. It was a 500-mile race on the oval, which was driven counterclockwise for this specific occasion. It was a victory for the American teams, whose car raced much better on ovals. For the second race, the Formula One teams decided to build specialist cars for it, but the 1958 race was also won by the Americans too. Doubts about safety meant that the 1959 race was cancelled, and there would never be more than these two races. The oval was used several times for Formula One's Italian Grand Prix in combination with the road circuit. The last time it was used was in 1961, but after that it too was found dangerous for Formula One and closed. Remarkably, the Monza Oval owes a lot of its fame to the 1966 movie Grand Prix. In this movie, a fictional Formula One season takes place, using the Monza banking 5 years after the last time it was used in real life. Although the Monza banking was forbidden in Formula One since 1962, it's still used for the 1,000 kilometres of Monza for sports cars. In order to improve safety, 2 permanent chicanes were added in 1966 for the entry into both high-speed banked corners. Despite this, the Monza Oval was used for the last time in 1969. As is a common theme with this channel, it was found to be too dangerous, and so from 1970 on, the 1,000 kilometres of Monza was held only on the road circuit. After the 1969 race, the high-banked oval wasn't used anymore. However, the Monza road circuit's still in operation today, thank God, so we put the Monza Oval at number 8 on our lists of racing circuits with a teeny tiny life. Kimala. Our next racing circuit with a short life is the unknown circuit of Kimala in Finland. In 1965, the Finnish racing driver Kurt Lincoln took the initiative to build a circuit near Kimala. The circuit was built in short time and it opened on the 12th of June 1966. It was a 3.3 kilometres or 2.06 mile long circuit with 9 corners and a 1 kilometre main straight. Later, a kart track and a rallycross track were added to the complex. Coincidentally, the kart track was where Mika Häkkinen learnt his craft as he was born in the nearby city of Vantaa. International series who visited Kimala were the Formula 2 in 1966 and 1967 and the Inter-Series sports car races from 1969 through to 1972. Despite its favourable location near the capital of Helsinki, the crowd didn't come in big numbers to the circuit and the financial situation became trickier and trickier year on year. The outbreak of the energy crisis in the 70s was sadly the final straw for the circuit, and it closed officially in 1978. After the closure, the track was often used for illegal racing, but there have also been a number of initiatives to revive the Kimala circuit. Sadly, they've all failed. In 2014, they started the demolition of the abandoned track, and today the site is used as a residential neighbourhood. As a reminder to the circuit, the new roads follow parts of the layout of the circuit, and they preserved the control tower as a monument. That makes Kimala number 7 on our lists of racing circuits with a short life. Nivelles Bouwers. Our next racing circuit with a short life is Nivelles in Belgium, which has lots of similarities to Kimala. The only difference is that Nivelles made it to being a Formula One racetrack. The Nivelles circuit opened in 1971 as a safer alternative to the old Spa-Francorchamps. It hosted the Formula One Belgian Grand Prix in 1972 and 74, and both races were won by Emerson Fittipaldi. The Nivelles circuit wasn't very popular with the Formula One drivers. This came down to 3 main reasons. The first was that it replaced old Spa-Francorchamps. I don't think that needs any further explanation. The second reason is because Nivelles was actually way ahead of its time in safety values. It had large runoff areas and therefore was considered less exciting for drivers because they weren't used to it in those days. But the main reason was that the track was only 3.7 kilometres or 2.3 miles long. Actually, the design foresaw a longer track of about 3.5 miles, but the circuit owners could never bring up enough cash to buy the required land all at once. They decided to build a shorter track first, with the idea to complete it and expand later on when the ground was purchasable later. This proved to be the first major calculation for the track though. Once the circuit was open, the landowners wanted more money. The circuit owners couldn't stump it up, so the circuit was never really completed. Despite its bad reputation, the Nivelles circuit actually had a very challenging section with 2 very fast right-hand corners and some elevation changes. So, the unfinished layout was the first miscalculation, but soon there was even more financial trouble, and they couldn't carry on the required changes to keep the track suitable for Formula One. After just 2 races, Formula One refused to return to Nivelles and settled at Zolder instead. When on June 30th, 1981, the circuit's licence expired, Nivelles closed forever. But after the closure of the track, it was often used for illegal racing, just like Imola. In 1998, a certain Hermann Lischemeyer visited the circuit of Nivelles, and it inspired him to start a website about lost tracks. You know the name, it's Circuits of the Past. Hermann also founded this YouTube channel and filmed most of the footage you see in the video. My name's Simon Smith, and I just do the voiceovers and run the Higher Plane Games YouTube channel. So, Circuits of the Past actually originated from the circuit of Nivelles, and that's a good enough reason to give it number 6 on our spot of racing circuits with a short life. Pedralbes. Our next racing circuit with a short life is Pedralbes in Spain. The Pedralbes circuit was a very fast 4.465 kilometres, or 2.79 miles, you know we like to do both, long triangular street circuit in the Pedralbes district of Barcelona. The first time it was used was in 1946 for the Peñarín Grand Prix. In the early 1950s it hosted 3 times a Formula One Grand Prix. In 1950 the Peñarín Grand Prix was an inaugural Formula One event. For this event, the circuit was expanded. The driving direction was also changed from counterclockwise to clockwise. The length of this circuit was now 6.316 kilometres, or 3.974 miles, with a 2 kilometre or 1.25 mile long start-finish straight. During the Grand Prix, top speeds of 280 kilometres an hour, or 175 miles per hour, were held on these long straights, which made Pedralbes the fastest circuit city of its time. For 1951, the Grand Prix counted towards the Formula One World Championship, and it was the first Formula One race in Spain, officially. In 1954, the Spanish Grand Prix came back to Pedralbes after an absence of 2 years. For this event, a small change to the circuit was made, which brought the length now to 6.333 kilometres or 3.958 miles. However, this would sadly be the last race F1 had at Pedralbes. After a grave accident in the Le Mans 24 Hour in 1955, which took the lives of more than 80 spectators, races all around the world were cancelled, and that included the Spanish Grand Prix. As a result of the accident, safety standards for the circuits were increased, and that meant the end of the very fast street circuit, which was never used again. So that brings Pedralbes into number 5 of our list of racing circuits with a short life. The Valencia Street Circuit. Our next racing circuit with a short life is the only modern circuit in this top 10, and it's the Valencia Street Circuit, which is also in Spain too. When visiting Valencia, you cannot miss the beach or the harbour. Valencia has a nice wide beach and the climate makes it even beautiful to stay in January. Right next to the beach is the Marina Real Juan Carlos I, with the old Valencia Street Circuit, which held races from 2008 to 2012 as a Formula One Grand Prix venue. It was held under the name of the Grand Prix of Europe Telefonica. Unfortunately, the Formula One race in Valencia never really became a success. The races there were mostly boring, with little overtaking, and it cost Spain and Valencia a ton of money more than it generated. In 2013, a new government introduced many spending cuts, and that made it impossible for it to organise an expensive Formula One Grand Prix in addition to all of these cuts. In 2015, a consortium from Singapore tried to follow up on the Formula One race at the Valencia Street Circuit, but this wasn't successful. The only thing that reminds everyone of the circuit are the painted lines on the asphalt, some rubber stripes in the old pit lane, and a sign of the Formula One Paddock Club at the back of the old pit buildings. And that makes Valencia number 4 on our list. Autodromo Casale Monferrato. Our next racing circuit with a short life is the Autodromo Casale Monferrato in Italy. The Autodromo Casale Monferrato near Murano Po was a 2.46 kilometre or 1.53 mile long racetrack in northern Italy. It opened in 1973 and was used for national races like the Italian Formula 3 Championship and touring car races. However, there was a plan to extend the track to make it more suitable for international races too. But in 1975, local residents started complaining, oh you guessed it, it's about the noise. For the 1976 season, the number of racing events at the Murano Post circuit were reduced, but that still wasn't enough for those residents, and so by the end of the season the circuit was closed. To prevent illegal racing, a part of the asphalt layer was destroyed in 1977. Bizarrely enough, it was later restored in an attempt to bring the track back to life in 1981, but after several attempts they didn't get permission for reopening. The circuit itself still remains and is left abandoned, as you'll see in this footage. It was filmed by Hermann Lischmeyer, the founder of the Circuits of the Past YouTube channel and website. He visited the abandoned circuit in the summer of 2017 with two friends from Italy, and they showed him the way. So, after being operational for only 4 years, the Motodromo Caselli Monferrato is number 3 in our list of racing circuits with an exceptionally short life. Deutschlandring. Our next racing circuit with a short life is the Deutschlandring in Germany. The Deutschlandring was a permanent race circuit under construction near Holstein in the east of Germany. It was actually a prestige project from Adolf Hitler, but the motorsport history of that region started way back earlier. From 1926 through to 1932, hill climbs were organised on a public road near Holstein. In 1933, Adolf Hitler came into power in Germany. Under his rule, huge construction projects were set up, and that included the construction of a racetrack near Holstein. The name of the new circuit should be called the Deutschlandring, which would have translated in English to Germany Circuit. Later, the name of the circuit was changed to Großdeutschlandring, which in English translates to Great Germany Circuit. The Großdeutschlandring would have been a length of 10 kilometres or 6.2 miles and had to have accommodated 1 million spectators. What? It should also become a serious competitor for the Nürburgring. The preparatory work was done by prisoners from the nearby concentration camps. After a construction period of 6 years, the Großdeutschlandring was festively inaugurated on the 26th of April 1939. A year later, the German Grand Prix would then move, in theory, from the Nürburgring to the Großdeutschlandring. However, it all went a bit different when World War II broke out in September of 1939. After the war, Germany was divided into 4 sections, from which there were created 2 German states. Holstein was now in the German Democratic Republic, also known as East Germany, which was a communist dictatorship. Under the new rulers, the track was renamed back to the Deutschlandring and was used just one more time. That was on the 14th of October in 1951. But during the event, 2 drivers were killed, and after this tragedy, the circuit was never used again. And that puts Deutschlandring at number 2 in our list of racing circuits with a short life. So, who's number 1? Rolled Street Circuit. The number 1 on our list for short-lived racetracks is the street circuit you've probably never heard about. But without the Rolled Street Circuit in the Netherlands, another famous racetrack may never have been created, and that's the TT Circuit of Assen, home of the Dutch MotoGP. In 1924, the Dutch government decided to change a law to make it possible to organise races on public roads. The first time this happened was on the 11th of July 1925, when a motorcycle race was organised in the Triangle Rolled, Borger and Schönloo, with the start-finish in Rolled. The Rolled Street Circuit was 28.4 kilometres or 7.75 mile long and contained long straights and fast kinks. However, we have to notice that the track was extremely narrow and some parts were even unpaved. There was also 2 small bridges on the track that were so narrow that they had to be crossed one at a time. The first ever motorcycle race in the Netherlands was a 250cc, and it was won by Arie Waring, a motorcycle dealer from Haarlem, with an average speed of 67.3 kilometres or 42.06 miles per hour. About 10,000 spectators, not yet used to speed at that time, were in absolute joyous lyricism about it afterwards. After this successful event, it was clear that the organisers should make this an annual event. Why not? But to get the green light for the 1926 race, some improvements to the track were required. But the local government of Borga didn't want to spend the money for road paving, so the organisers were out looking for a new course. Close to Assen, a new course was proposed, which was a rectangle, and it travelled through Assen, Hooghallen, Laaghallerveen, and back to Assen, all of which were fully paved. And well, the rest was history. Today Assen has a state-of-the-art first-class permanent race circuit, and if it all went a little bit differently and the municipal of Borga would have spent some money for road paving, we would probably now have a modern TT circuit of Borga instead of Assen. And this missed opportunity for Borga makes the Borga Street Circuit, which was only used that one single time, the number one on our list of race circuits with an exceptionally short life. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to comment below on what your favourite circuits were or any other circuits you think should have been included in this list. Share the links across your social media networks so that everyone else gets to find out about these little hidden gems of racing tracks people probably never knew about. Don't forget to subscribe and click on that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of our new videos from circuits from the past, and sometimes from the present too. Take care.